Okay, Greg, 3-0 is 3-0. Penn State beats Pittsburgh in the 100th game of the series. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but it's really going to kind of look ahead to what Penn State needs to work on in the bye week. But let's just start with this game. The offense scored 17 points.
Yep.
How surprised are you that they could not be more efficient given the speed that they have? And they had some big plays in this game. To only have 17 points, disappointing, or are you okay with what you saw?
Yeah, no, I think you have to consider it a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the plays were there. If you want to look at it glass half full,
Yeah.
how many times did KJ Hamler or Jahan Dotson get behind a Pitt defensive back only for Sean Clifford to throw it 10 yards over his head? That stuff's correctable. You know, it's not like he was missing them entirely. It's not like he didn't read the play right or the route right. That's something that can be fixed. So I think if you want to look at it glass half full, you'll say, okay, they found a way to go out and get a win on a day when they certainly didn't have their best game on offense.
Right.
If you want to look at it the other way, you'd say that third down has been an issue for pretty much the entirety of James Franklin's tenure, and that continues to be a problem because when Penn State's not hitting on those big plays, Bob, they get in games like this where they have to hang on for dear life at the end.
Yeah, 3 of 17 on third down coming in, 4 of 13 in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do the math real quick. It's not good. It's not going to be good if you're a Penn State fan. I just, you know, a lot of people want to talk about the Narduzzi call to kick the field goal, when rightly so. I'm almost as flummoxed by James Franklin's decision not to go back to Noah Cain after he was brilliant on that long, time-consuming touchdown drive where you think Penn State's about ready to take control of this game, and they have short yardage situations later in the game and he's not on the field.
Right, yeah, I thought that was a little bit interesting. We got to ask him about it after the game, and he more or less said that, you know, they were talking on the headset that Cain should have been brought in because his style would have been good for that part of the drive. And it's like, well, no kidding. I mean, you spent all offseason talking about how he was your downhill runner. So to have that conversation on the headset and not bring him in is a bit baffling, Bob.
Okay, so that's a wrap on the Pittsburgh game. Let's just they're on a bye week now. They got Maryland on a Friday night, so in 13 days. Could be a very interesting environment.
Right.
Maryland's dangerous when they come to play. I don't know that they necessarily came to play this, as we talk about this against Temple, but they dismantled Syracuse. Going into the bye week, if you had to list a couple of concerns, if you were James Franklin, what would they be?
Yeah, I think the first one will obviously be, we talked a lot before the season about, and so did James Franklin and his coaching staff, about the strength of the defense being the defensive line. I don't know if they've played bad, but he even said after the game that no, we're not getting the pressure that we think we should. Shaka Toney had about 5 almost sacks.
Yeah.
You know, Shane Simmons, I think, probably had the best game
Etor
today.
was close on a couple.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like they're far off, but that was supposed to be a strength, Bob, and it really hasn't been the savior of the defense as maybe we thought it would be. But again, they gave up 24 rushing yards, so they were doing something right.
I'm not going to beat up the Penn State defense. I thought they played really well today. They just didn't finish, number one. And at some point, when it's a long yardage situation, they have to know the screen pass is coming.
Right.
It was unbelievable how many times they played their butts off to get Pittsburgh in long yardage situations, only to see them either fail to recognize a play or take a bad line to the receiver or the running back, and they would escape. And it would just Pitt would keep the ball, and it would deny Penn State a chance to get their offense back on the field. I think they're really close to being a very good defense. You're right about Shaka Toney. He was held a bunch of times today. He is tough when he's coming around the corner. He could easily have 3 or 4 sacks. I just think that, you know, if you really think about it, discounting the Idaho game because they were overmatched, they've given up 23 points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think they're clearly going to play better. I thought Cam Brown and Micah Parsons were terrific today. I also thought they tackled very well. The secondary, I thought, played pretty well too. When Pitt did make some plays down the field, they were great catches and great throws. I'm encouraged by the Penn State defense. I think they will get better. I'm just wondering at what point James is going to settle on a running back. To me, I think that's a conversation he has to have with Jaywan Sider this week.